Fun times. Apparently, my shirt's awfully wrinkled today. I didn't hang it last time we had Fancy Fridays. Whoops. Uh, that being said, just put the vest on for shits and giggles. I'm kind of digging it. I'm kind of digging it. But without further ado, let's get into this, man. A lot of things have been happening in my life lately. A lot of things in general happen in everybody's life. So I encourage you, if you're going through some stuff right now, to consider this. If you're feeling in a dark place, oh shit, here. How about now? 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 Okay, now you can hear me. Yeah? All right. I always forget that. Alrighty. Let's start back over again. As I just said a second ago, the shirt was awfully wrinkled. I put the vest on for shits and giggles, but I think a motherfucker will be looking pretty good in it. I kind of like it. I like it. Alrighty. So without further ado, there's been a lot of things that have happened in my life, in the lives of the people I care about lately, just in general, that have had me thinking pretty heavy about like the following concept. First of all, persistence, perseverance. Those are powerful fucking words that you need to consider adding massively to your repertoire. We talk who we are into existence. Your self-talk in times of adversity, in times of non-adversity, your self-talk, the way you talk to yourself is and will always be one of the most contributing, massive, life-changing factors you will ever have about how you make it through circumstances that are difficult. All right? So, my question to you is, would you rather die on your feet fighting, or would you rather live on your knees? Or, more accurately, would you rather die on your knees giving up? Rough. I don't know how we collar to loose in here. So, let's just get right fucking into it, guys. Life is gonna kick you in the fucking dick. If you don't have a dick, it'll step on your foot. It'll kick you in the butt. It'll smack you down. It'll stand over the top of you and say, "What are you gonna do about this?" And I believe that that's just the nature of the world, man. There's positive and negative. There's ups and there's downs, and we must learn to embrace every single aspect of those ups and downs throughout our life. Let's get even just more nitty gritty. You're going to have things that fuck you up in your life and your flow and your forward momentum that are going to hit you like a fucking Mack truck sideswiping a car that didn't see it coming. And it's going to just knock you the fuck down. But we're going to talk a little bit about God in this process too. God is all around us. God is all powerful. Most importantly, God is in you. Where he is as important as understanding who he is. And that means that when you walk in God's truth and light, and you walk in honesty, and you walk as a fucking warrior in your faith and in your belief and in your love for the world and life and those around you, you are unfucking stoppable. But that's as long as you're walking with that unstoppable will, that unstoppable faith and belief that you're not going to be denied as long as you have the faith in that little piece of your Creator inside of you. And if you don't believe in God, I invite you to look at every anecdotal story that humankind has ever written that isn't like a warning of how to stay away from something. You know, like curiosity killed the cat stuff. That I don't even like that one personally, but a little engine that could. You know, I could try to sit down and name them, but I'm like on a roll here and just my brain's drawing a blank on it. But almost every single story that we have throughout humanity's long and weird history has to do with people rising up from the most difficult of circumstances and just becoming full fucking savages, slaying the dragon, King Arthur. I mean, there's just tons of them. There's tons and tons and tons and tons of them, okay? Lion of Judah. But you are and always will be your greatest asset and your greatest liability. And that entirely depends, the fulcrum on that one depends on what you put your energy and time into. And I say this because, dude, literally like me and Lacey were having a talk this morning, and I promised I wasn't going to spend a lot of time on this, but I am going to touch on it. She's had a lot of people die from addiction in her life recently. I've had a lot of people die from addiction in my life recently. And it's getting to the point where literally it just feels like we're going, there's another one. Okay, there's another one. And the thing that keeps coming back to me over and over and over again is that I don't necessarily, what's up, Kyler? Oh, by the way, thank you very much, honey. I appreciate you. I like that you think I'm sexy. But the thing is that I feel so bad for the people when they went through whatever they were going through mentally in those moments before they OD'd. Because when you are using, you're in a position where literally you're like living on your knees, just barely trying to scrape it by, hoping that the next moment might be better than the last one. And you're putting drugs inside of you because that makes you feel like it's a little bit better, but it's not. And the level of loneliness and just sadness and just full on like soul crushing just loneliness that those people are experiencing when they are taking these drugs, and when I used to take these drugs, so I can very much absolutely identify with it. You'd get a room full of people that were all so alone that nobody was actually connecting with anybody else other than the fact that they all felt alone and they wanted to co-sign each other's running away from that loneliness. And man, does it just crush me. But if we could only show people how life-changing it is to stand up and say, you will not fucking break me. You cannot break me. I refuse to be broken by anything, ever. Those words can change your life forever. They can change the trajectory of your life, the course your life is taking, the impact you have on those around you, the impact you have on their future and your future. Everything is changed by the words, you will not break me. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, because the only weapon that can prosper against you is you. Not even the devil, not even the enemy can actually defeat you. He can convince you to defeat yourself. And therein lies the real weird dichotomy there. Because what's happening is when you get to a point where you are victim stance, when you're living on your knees, looking at it as if life is just beating you down over and over and over again, you're allowing it to do that. I look at it like God is dropping a forge hammer on me over and over and over again, and it's forming me into what I need to be to help glorify the kingdom, to help glorify love, and help bring the best value I can to my family, my life, my community, and the human race as much as possible. It doesn't hurt when these things happen anymore. It feels weird. I experience the emotions, but it doesn't hurt me to my core the way they used to, because I don't take it personally. Now I just see, okay, there's a little bit of my soul and a little bit of my personality that was just struck with a hammer and has just shifted. But it's become stronger. I'm being folded like steel over and over and over again until it becomes so powerful that it almost can't be broken ever. In fact, it can't be. And if you know anything about forging, you understand when you fold steel enough times and you add the right ingredients, you get Damascus Steel, all right? And I love the blacksmith metaphor, because not only did you have to take the ore out of the ground, beat it into powder, burn it until all of the chaff was away, melt what little bit of the actual thing you were looking for in there, the actual metal in the ore, down, pour it, form into ingots, melt it again, form it more, melt it, form it, heat it, form it, beat it, form it, like just over and over and over again until it's formed into a blade. All right. But then after all of that, you grind it down with steel and grit. And then eventually you sharpen it with things like silk or leather, because that polishes it. And now that you have this blade that is ultimately sharp, polished, and is the best tool it could possibly ever been made into, we've folded it 1,000,000 times. We've added the carbon to it. We're going to dip it in oil and acid etch it. And then you have Damascus steel, which is, if you look it up, one of the most beautiful types of blades you'll ever see. It's got these just insanely beautiful patterns that go throughout the steel. It's so sharp. It's so strong. And every one of them's different, because each time you fold the steel, it changes the way those molecules are sitting together. Not only does it make it stronger, but it makes it more beautiful every time you fold it. Every time you bring those pieces back together. And you can do that with any type of iron. You can do that with any type of ore. You can do that with any of the right types of steel, and the mixtures of the right things create tools that are so beautiful and so unique. And we too often look at these struggles in life as if it's life beating us down. Too many of us in recovery are like, I'm just fighting for my sobriety every day. Why are you fighting for it? Why is it a fight for you? Why is life your enemy? Why is the day-to-day existence of life so painful for you that you feel like you have to fight to not run away from it? I believe that's living on your knees. I believe that's living in a reactive state. I believe that's waiting for life to come to you instead of you going to life. I believe that there is no greater warrior in the fucking world than the person that stands up and against all adversity, against all the naysayers, against everything in their fucking heart that tells them not to fucking do it. Everything that their mind tries to convince themselves not to do it. And they choose to build the difficult and impactful and meaningful things in their life and stand up every time they get knocked down. Stand up every time and talk about it and be real. There's just so few people who are living life on their own terms. And like, it hurts me. That hurts me now. It's to the point now where my own thoughts and the things that happen to me don't hurt me anymore for the most part. Like, it's like very, very short term. Like, I experience it and then I move forward with it. I find a solution and I move out of it and I move towards a solution. But watching other people hurt themselves over and over and over again, watching other people live this beautiful fucking life like it's a fucking burden to be alive. Do you understand how fucking astronomically minuscule the chance that you get to be a human in modern era with all of the things that are going on right now? Do you understand how fucking powerful it is? I wish I could just implant that into you to understand how beautiful and unique everything that you do and everyone that's around you is. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you, man. I know because I've been low. I've been hurt. I've been hurting myself. I've been so low that I thought that nothing could save me and that God had turned his back on me. I don't care what creator you believe in. They're there. Your belief is what makes you move forward. The paradigms you accept are the beliefs that you choose. And the beliefs that you have are things that you choose. And that's what makes them love. Because love is a choice. Fear is a reaction. Hate is a reaction. And I just want you to know that against all odds, if you can choose what to look at yourself as, if you can choose to look at yourself as the baddest motherfucker that God ever made, the most beautiful creation that God ever made, because inside of you is that piece of your creator. It's your piece of your creators. It's the piece of the universe, whatever you believe. And it's experiencing itself through all of these things. So nothing is actually bad. And everything you want and need and desire is already here. It's just on its way. And because we think in a linear fashion with time, we don't understand that it's already here. You can be happy now. You can be satisfied now. In the worst of circumstances, and I bring this up all the time, Viktor Frankl wrote a book in response to having been in a concentration camp, being medically experimented on, starved, watching everybody around him die. And he wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning that, like, it almost makes me want to cry. My whole body has goosebumps on it right now. Legitimately, that person found a way to love life in a fucking concentration camp because he chose to. And that's all there is to it. You have to choose. Get up off your knees. Stop waiting for life to happen to you. And reach out and grab it with every bit of power that your creator and the universe planted in you, and never ask for permission to get what God's promised you, to get what the universe promised you, to get what your heart desires more than anything. I love all of you. I'm serious about that. Every one of you has a little piece of me in you and vice versa. And I choose to find the similarities because I love all of you. Let's walk in love today.